And I think that we should thank God. We should always thank God. But a very popular sum of Thanksgiving is Mizmor LeTodah. An interesting word. The word Todah, modern Hebrew, that's thank you, and I'm sure many of you know that. Israelis don't use it as commonly as people use it in other countries. The kind of the base level of manners in Israel is different than in some other countries. Okay, but it's part of the kind of family uh, feeling. So modern Hebrew, that's thanks, todah. Biblical Hebrew, though, it is always to God. It is always to God, and it's always through either singing or offering. It can also be related to confession, okay, to the idea of confessing one's sin. So that's Todah. And let's read Mizmor LeTodah. I'm gonna read slowly, and you're more than welcome, everybody, to read with me. And it's really, I will kind of translate as we every verse as I'm reading it, and I'm sure you know these verses. These are very kind of common. It's Psalm 100, and I want to say that you know it's also very common, for Israelis, for Jews to use this psalm. It is even become um, more and more common. I should say this is maybe a sociological observation. The place of religion in Israeli life has become, or in popular Israeli life, kind of has become more, I would say, mainstream in recent years. Like, you don't have to be very observant to have uh, warm feelings and connection to Jewish tradition. It used to be more dichotomous, that either you were fully observant or not at all. And today the spectrum is much more wide, and I think that there is a higher percentage of people that feel warm feelings towards religion, even if they're not 100% observant. So that's a little bit about that. Mizmor LeTodah, a psalm of thanksgiving. הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ. Shout joyfully, okay, to the Lord, the whole earth. Hariu. You might be familiar with the one of the sounds of the shofar, which is called teruah. Teruah. So hariu is related to that. Kol haaretz, that's the vocative. That's who's addressed by the psalter. So he's calling for all the earth to shout for the Lord. Ivdu et Adonai besimcha. Serve or worship the Lord with joy. Besimcha, with gladness, joy. Bo'u lefanav birnana. Again, note the parallelism. Approach before him, come before him with singing, with joyful singing. Bo ivdu lefanav, and et Adonai. Okay, lefanav, the pronominal suffix goes back to uh, the proper name. Okay, representing the Lord in both cases. And the adverb in both cases composed of the preposition followed by a substantive followed by a noun. Besimcha, birnana, in both cases modifying the verb and dictating the fashion of the worshiping or the approaching. Okay, very, very common in biblical parallelism. Guys, this is I hope it's not killing the vibe, the grammar. Okay. Deu ki Adonai hu Elohim. Hu asanu velo anachnu. Amo vetzon mar'ito. Da'u, no. Ivdu, bo'u, hariu. All of these are imperatives. Okay. Masculine plural. Okay. Addressing the whole earth and letting the whole earth what they should do. They should shout, worship, serve, approach, know. What should they know? Ki Adonai hu Elohim, that the Lord is God. Hu asanu, He created us. Velo anachnu, and we are His. I'm not getting into the difference between the ketiv and the kerei. Okay, amo vetzon mareito. Okay, His people and the flock of His pasturing, literally. Okay, marito. You might remember the biblical Hebrew ro'eh, which, by the way, we use in Christian communities. People use pastor, right? Some Christian communities refer to the leader of the community as the pastor, right? Because and the flock, the whole notion of the shepherd, the theme of the shepherd is very, very dominant in biblical world, hence in Christianity as well, right? Moses is a shepherd, right? ומשה היה רועה את צאן יתרו חותנו, and Moses was pasturing the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law. Okay, Exodus 3. And David was a shepherd. Okay, and Jesus is described alongside these lines as well. Okay, these themes. So God is the ultimate shepherd, as in Psalm 23, right? So this theme, very common. בואו שעריו בתודה, חצרותיו בתהילה. הודו לו, ברכו שמו. Again, בואו, we had בואו before, בואו לפניו ברננה. Now, בואו שעריו בתודה, חצרותיו בתהילה. Again, reminding you that we had this type of adverb, besimcha and birnana. Now we have betoda, bitila. We had lefanav, okay, and now she'arav, chatzerotav. Some have tried to see like a progression here. Okay, as someone is entering the temple, as someone is going to Jerusalem, going to maybe Shiloh even, right? Depends who wrote this psalm, how old is this psalm, who knows? Okay, but the idea is people were going towards the temple and singing these songs. Okay, so Bo'u she'arav betoda, enter his gates. Okay, she'arav, sha'ar, gate. Okay, in biblical Hebrew, it has very, very, very wide spectrum of meanings, oftentimes associated with justice, with commerce, with all of the important places. Okay, the sha'ar of the city, the gate of the city. Chatzerotav bitchila, his courtyards. Again, the courtyard and the sha'ar are things that we find in the temple, not just in the temple, but definitely these are part of the temple. Hodulo barachu shemo. Remember those imperative masculine plural that we've seen in the previous slide. Bo we had before. Hodu barachu. Under regular circumstances, it would be hodu. The accent shifts back because of the accent here. So hodulo barachu shemo. Give thanks to him. You can see the connection between the word toda and the imperative hodu, both of the same root. Give thanks to him. Hodulo barachu shemo. Bless his name. And why? Ki tov Adonai le'olam chasdo ve'ad dor vador emunato. For the Lord is good. His kindness, his chesed is forever, is everlasting. Ve'ad dor vador emunato. And for all generation, or generation and generation literally, but contextually meaning all generations, his faithfulness, emunato. And again, you can see the parallelism very nicely here. You can see le'olam and ad dor vador. Okay, chasdo and emunato. Okay, the word emunato is related to the word amen, obviously, that we say, and also to the root, to the word emet, which is related to the same root. So that's some 100. I hope I didn't kill the sound with a grammar, because I want you to see, I want you to understand, I want you to enjoy the structure, but it's kind of sometimes, the cerebral comes on the expense of the emotional. So I'll just read it as it is once more. מזמור לתודה, הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ, עבדו את אדוני בשמחה, בואו לפניו ברננה, דעו כי אדוני הוא אלוהים, הוא עשנו ולא אנחנו, עמו וצאן מרעיתו, בואו שעריו בתודה, חצרותיו בתהילה, הודו לו, ברכו שמו, כי טוב אדוני לעולם חסדו, והדור ודור אמונתו. So the great miracles that we have experienced in this war, or part of a war, because it's an ongoing war since October 7, and some would say since the returning of the Jewish people to their homeland, starting, you can put whichever point, 1882, 1920, 1921, 1929, 1936, 1947, whichever point you want to, some would say it's a continuous war with short periods of kind of